Hey, it's Melissa with Sincerely Creative Mom. Today we're going to make a patriotic wreath with our pancake wreath frame. This was a kit. You could have purchased it inside our shop. If you're looking for anything involving us or a directory to where I can send you, where I can help you, check out learnfrommelissa.com. So that's where you can find our wreath kits and the frame if you're looking for, as well as a list of our favorite suppliers, our favorite tools, other free resources, and so on. Today we're going to start with our 14-inch frame. Your kit comes with the sign, your frame, the pipe cleaners, the ribbons for your bow, the ribbons for your tails, so pretty, and a full roll of the deco mesh, which I've already had gone ahead and cut up. So we cut up 12 pieces at 20 inches long, 12 at 20 inches long, and we cut our ribbons at 14 inches long for our tails. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in our pipe cleaners. I've already gone ahead and added most of them, except for the last two. I'm going to go into the hole there, grab it on the outside, twist tie right on the wood, but close to the notch here. We're going to do the same thing on the inside, on the wood, but close to the notch on the inside. So you're going to do that in all 12 spots that have one of those little notches. So you don't have to measure, you don't have to cut, you don't have to guess how many you need. It's all in the frame. The work is done for you. Okay, so we're going to go on to adding our mesh. Super easy here. We're going to, again, I cut it 20 inches. This mesh, one of my very favorites, I'm just going to ruffle right up that blue line. So I'm going to try to keep that blue line in between my fingers as I roll it up, scrunch it up, ruffle it up, whatever you want to call it. Roll it, oops, roll it, roll it, roll it. Okay, and then pick up nice and tight, put it right down in our pipe cleaner. We're going to work on the outside of that frame first. There we go. Pull our pipe cleaner up. Crisscross, twist, twist. Overlap here. Overlap here. And then move on. So we're going to work on the outside first with our mesh and the ribbon so that we don't disturb the outside after it's all done, and we can move on to the inside layer. So I call this, sometimes I call it the outside, I call it the bottom, but the outside twist ties are the ones on the outside of the frame. Okay, overlap those, kind of tuck those under so that I don't lose those inside pipe cleaners. I don't want to lose them because I'm going to need them in a minute here. Scrunch right up. All the way, right on top. Crisscross, twist, twist, overlap, overlap. The overall width on this wreath will be about 23 or 24 inches long, or wide, and the height of the depth of it, rather, where the bow is, will be about 5.5 inches or so. So it's meant to be a nice slim design. It's meant to be a wreath that goes between your main door and storm door. I live here in Michigan, and so I came up with this recipe to help the folks who do have a storm door. However, you can hang this wreath. It's going to be beautiful for any door. So just a preference if you want to hang it, between the doors, which is a very common traditional or habit here in Michigan. It is quite fine hanging on the outside of your door. It's quite fine hanging on the outside of your screen or storm door. I, of course, want to show my wreaths off, so I do not have a screen door, even though I personally live in Michigan. I don't have one on my house. Not that it was really my choice. I bought the house like that, so I'd never put one in. in the summertime, and in the spring I kind of wish I did have one for the airflow, but we do not at the moment. There we go, nice and tight, crisscross, twist, twist. Okay, so then for here, let me move this out of the way. Whoopsie, don't fall. From here, let's go right into a layer of our ribbons. So again, I've already cut them 14 inches long. I put my favorite on the top. Okay, put my favorite on the top. And I just dovetailed the end. So I folded my ribbon, cut on the fold up towards the edge to get those nice pretty V shape there on the end. So scrunch up the center, fold, everything comes out towards you. Everything, all those pointers, the edges of your ribbon, all come out towards you. Put that right in there. Look how pretty this is going to be. So we're going to put everything in first, and then we're going to fluff. Y'all, if you're interested in learning how to pair your ribbons, your patterns, your colors, how to pull florals and greenery to go with your wreaths, we do have a full class on that. We actually just finished up. Everything is on replay, so you can check that out. Again, that list is, the directory is learnfrommelissa.com. You can find all the things right there. So we're going to twist this about 7 or 8 times and keep going. Everything goes out towards me, just because anything going on the inside of this wreath you're not going to see. We're going to cover it up with our sign and our bow. So I want everything, for the pancake recipe, I want everything to be coming out towards the edge. Wait till you see what this is going to look like spread out. So we have 2 ribbons in there. We want to see 2 ribbons in there. So we want to make sure that we are spreading those out to make sure nothing's hiding. So let's go ahead and cut off those excess. Not that it's required. I could just leave them in and fold them under rather, but if I just cut them off, it's easier to follow along. Okay. All right, so we want to spread these apart. We want to see every single one of them. So here's what we're going to do. Stay out of the way. Stay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take our ribbons. We're going to push this just down, and then I'm going to squish it all the way down. So it kind of stays all together. Now I'm going to take this up and down, spread it apart, and side to side and spread it apart, because I want to see both of those equally. Okay? So up and down, side to side. Push it forward, push it down, squish it. Up and down, side to side. Up and down, side to side. I love those little polka dots. It looks so cute. Again, this did come as a kit. So this is the video for this specific kit. Not all of our kits come with a video or instructions. Again, you can always reference back to that Easter cutting video. I know it's Easter, but the cutting instructions video for that kit will explain how to do any kit. So always, always, always you have that to go back to. Up and down, side to side. Up and down, side to side. Push in, squish. Up and down, side to side. Okay, and I just want to make sure my pipe cleaners are available for me. So let's move that one up there. Okay, then we're going to do the exact same. I know, exciting, right? We're going to do the exact same on that inside. Just when we get to that last part, we're going to do something just a little bit different. So again, I'm just going to squish up the center. Ruffle up the center. I feel like squish is just more fun to say. And put this right down on top. Now, if you noticed before, you were probably thinking, hey, I can still see the frame. I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do that. Well, gotta be patient, because after this layer goes on, you won't see the frame anymore. Also, that cutting instruction video is very informational because I tell you how to cut your mesh so that you can get the supplies to stretch for your 14-inch frame, or your, not your supplies, but your mesh to get your 14-inch frame and your 10-inch frame. So if you're watching that video, it'll tell you what pieces to cut, how long to cut, and how to get which ones to use for your which pieces to use for your 10-inch frame and which pieces to use for your 14-inch frame. So very informational. Again, your kit, this kit, not all kits, but this kit came with the 10-inch frame and the sign extender. So you do have those frames available to you. Not all of our kits come with the full bundle, but this one did. You can always buy the frames separate. Scrunch right at the center. So again, the frame it's our Pancake Wreath frame. It's actually our patent pending Pancake Wreath frame. Really excited and proud of that. It is based off of my Pancake Wreath design. Myself and a very, very good friend of mine, Damon Oates from Deco Exchange, co-invented this frame so that it would fit our design exactly. That way we don't have to measure, we don't have to count, we don't have to say, you know, so many spaces, none of that. You just design. You just use the holes that are there for you, right where the notches are, and design. Now, that doesn't mean you can only make the pancake frame, the pancake style. I've made some pretty big, beautiful, expensive wreaths on this frame. The wonderful thing that I like the most is that it's wood, so I don't have to feel like, you know, the more weight I put on the frame, it's going to be compromised. I know that it's going to be nice and secure and nice and safe to add whatever my little heart, almost whatever my little heart desires. So I've made some pretty big items and that I've been really proud of. So it's not just for the pancake style, although that's what I make the most of. Oh, that's wrong. That's what I make the most of. Last one coming in outside. Right down on the top. Always overlapping that mesh. Now, you can do whatever you want with your kit. You don't have to make it exactly like this. But the recipe that I'm giving you will have enough for the kit. Okay. All right, we're going to go in once again, one more time to that outside, or to that inside now, to add in our ribbon. So one more layer on the inside. Again, making sure everything kind of folds out towards me, so all the little pointy edges are out towards the edge, not towards the inside. And we're just going to make sure we put them in there nice and tight. And keep going. I loved this kit. This was super cute with the polka dots. And the stars had glittery stars. It's just really pretty cute. Not too rustic with that natural or that burlap color. Especially because of all the glitter going on. We have one different step right at that end here that we're going to make sure we do just a little bit differently to kind of enhance those two layers. Okay, again, picking up my wire cutter, cutting off all that excess just to make it easy to watch and see and look at. Again, I twisted those about 7 or 8 times so that when I do pull them apart and fluff the ribbon, there's enough twisted there that it's not going to come apart. So that's for sure the goal. Again, we're going to take it here, push it in, I'm going to push it in towards the center and then also lift up and pull aside. So I'm kind of just enhancing that layer one extra way, just pushing it inside the best I can. I'm just going to push it in. So down, in, down, and in. Our sign this whole time was prepped at the beginning before this video started, so I know by the time I'm done it should be dry and ready to go. Notice I'm not going back to fix any ribbons at this time. I will fix them all at the end. You see, I don't know if I even missed that one, but I saw that one there. I'm going to make sure I fix everything at the very end so that I'm not wasting my time basically going back and touching them several different times. So you want to get them all done. Make sure they're spread apart here so I know when I do go back to put them in, they will be willing to do what I want them to do and stay. So I know that they're messy. I know it looks crazy. We're going to do it all at the end though, so we don't have to do it more than once is the goal. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside, grab our ribbons for our bow, and we're going to start with that 2.5 inch on the bottom. Okay. Get that out of the way. Okay, starting with the 2.5 inch on the bottom. I like to dovetail my ends. I always seem to forget that, so I tend to start with that. So I'm going to take our really festive ribbon here. Okay, 7 inches on the tail, 6 inches on the loop. Now from there, everything just gets a little smaller, okay? From there, everything gets smaller. 7 inches on the tail, 6 inches on the loop. Everything gets smaller from there. So my first layer stays that way. twist, loop, pinch, twist, loop, pinch, and twist. My bow is going to go into the Easy Bow Maker to help me because my hands have super bad carpal tunnel. And so this helps me be able to do the job the way I can. Just going to make sure I dovetail that other end. Okay, and then the bow has two loops on one side of the bow, two tails on the other side of the bow, and one loop. So every time I put a layer in, I'm going to crisscross I'm going to alternate, goodness, where the loops go. So on this layer, the loops were over here. The next layer, the loops are going to go on the other side. So I'm going to keep doing that and paying attention to the loops because the last layer in this bow has something just a little bit different. So we're going to start again with our about 6.5 inches on the tail, about 5.5 inches, or just a little bit shorter, 5.5, 5 3/4. Pinch, pull it apart, twist, loop, pinch, twist, loop, pinch, and twist. Again, 2, 2 on the other side. And then I'm just going to kind of layer this so you can see what's going on. So I just try to make sure I keep a pattern going just like we would keep a pattern going here, where I'd always do the polka dots on one side and the stripes on the other. We're going to do the same thing out here with the bow. Okay, coming in with a plaid, which is my favorite. We talked about this a lot in the Wreath Wish class. What our favorite patterns were. What we gravitate towards, of course. So again, a little bit smaller. Nice on the loop. A little bit smaller. Pinch. Twist. Loop. Pinch. Twist. Loop. Pinch. And twist. 2 loops are over here. 2 loops go over here. And then, of course, our very last layer has something just a little bit different. Our last layer has about a 3-inch loop on the top. So tail, button loop, pinch. Actually, I just made that too short. Little loop, pinch, twist, loop, pinch, twist, loop, pinch, twisty, and loop, pinch, and twist. So again, 2 loops were over here. My next 2 are going to go over here. So I'm always paying attention to where the loops are, because in this final layer, I have a tail on both sides, when usually the tails are on the same side, because this time I have equal number of loops, making my tails go on one on each of the sides. So, just like that, nice and easy. Then I'll take we're getting to the hard part of the wreath. We're getting to the hard part here. Not this part, but the next part. I'm going to pull that up nice and tight, push it. I kind of have my hands on the bottom. Y'all have carpal tunnel pretty bad, and so for me to hold a bow in my hand all at once, clearly you can see I can make the layers. I love making the layers. They look beautiful and perfect in my opinion. However, I have carpal tunnel, so to hold it all together makes my hands really upset with me. So I just found a way that works for me, and I encourage you to do the same. So I use the Easy Bow Maker to help keep things in order. You know, I don't have, my hand doesn't have to cramp. All right, so now you can see my pipe cleaner, but I don't want you to see my pipe cleaner, so I'm going to bring this straight up, kind of wiggle it back and forth. It's going to be my button in the center, right? And then I'm going to kind of accentuate what we already started doing here by pulling our ribbons apart. It's going to be so much easier to do it once I have it in the actual wreath, but let's start it now. Okay. Again, I'm just kind of putting those right back where I kind of had them started already. And we'll finish it off once it's actually inside. Nice little loops. Really, really cute. I love this combination, by the way. That one's a little bit long. There we go. Okay, so we have our pipe cleaners on the bottom. Let's add our pipe cleaners to our sign here. Again, they were prepping the whole time. I added our mounts that came with your kit. And I'm just going to slide these into the back. Crisscross, twist, twist. Slide it in. Crisscross, twist, twist. The hard part becomes sifting or putting those pipe cleaners all the way through the mesh. It's always been one of the hardest parts, for me at least. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to move mesh or, well, I might have to use ribbons, because I might have to move ribbon, because I can't put that pipe cleaner through the ribbon. But what I'm going to do is put those pipe cleaners all the way through the mesh here, which is the part that becomes the pains, the hard part. Because you want to get that pipe cleaner all the way through without moving anything else out of the way, without disturbing anything. There, I got one through, and then I'll get my other one through. So what happens is, this is the reason why it's hard. That mesh has lots of little, pieces going up and down. So it's a nice little grid going on there. Well, I have layers of those grids going on, and my pipe cleaner, or pipe cleaners in general, pipe cleaners are a mix of two wires woven together. And so on the very end of that pipe cleaner, right, this part here, the very end, the point, ooh, sorry, hopefully we're still recording. At the very end, sorry, that was my alarm. At the very end of that pipe cleaner, the two ends where they twist, they always catch one of those teeny tiny little pieces of mesh, and it becomes a pain. Small price to pay for a really cute wreath, but it is, it's aggravating. There we go, right through here. Nice and easy. Okay, all I'm doing is, so my pipe cleaners came through on both ends, kind of snuggling that up there, and just twisting that on the edge of the frame, and going ahead and kind of twisting that, hiding it right underneath there. So it hides all four of my pipe cleaners, 1, 2, 3, 4. It hides all four, have everything in place. I'll fix the ribbons in a second. And then, of course, going around to that outside. Now, the bow, the part of your bow that's the longest, is that first layer where the tails are. So I want those coming out towards the edge. I don't want them going up in my sign. I'm okay if it hides it just a little bit, but I want those, the longer pieces, to come off the edge. So I'm going to put that right down here. Again, doing the same thing, just weaving it all the way through. so fun. There's one piece. Where's that other piece? There it is. Just make sure we're not covering it too much. I'm okay again. I'm okay with hiding it a little bit, but not all completely. We can pull it down and put it where we want it in just a second. Perfection. All right. So the last things we do are, I'm just going to stand up and fluff out our bow so we're exactly where we want it to be. Again, I'm okay if it's hiding it a little bit. I just don't want it to hide it completely. Nice little contrast with that lighter blue here in the bow. Really, really cute. Okay, so bow is good. Last thing, y'all, for those of you who purchased this kit, thank you very much. I appreciate you. So, how does this go? This way. I appreciate you very much. For those of you who are watching to learn and to learn how to make pretty things and follow us and learn more tips even, I appreciate you just the same. I'm super excited and happy and honored to have you all here. There's a lot of videos you could be watching and spending your time on. Thank you very much for spending your time with us. Again, the last thing I do is just go through, make sure everything is perfectly placed. Now, obviously, in the wind, as your customer opens up the door and closes the door, these will shift and move. But for our picture, we want everybody to see all of the ribbons that are here. Now it's really coming to see, like, if you had any of those ribbons, instead of coming out towards the edge, if you put any going in towards the center, you'd see, or you'd know, that you wouldn't be seeing it. Everything would be covered up if you put anything on the inside. So not that other recipes don't call for it to be kind of like a big X, but this recipe isn't. So again, this is Melissa from Sincerely Creative Mom. I hope that you are following us. We make lots of videos just like this. So I hope you're following us, and I hope to be able to see you in the next video. Don't forget, learnfrommelissa.com is where you can basically find a directory for us. This is really cute. Let's see how big it is. We're about 24 inches wide here. And then let me zoom you out a little bit. Don't mind my mess. Okay, and then we are still nice and thin to go between the doors, if that is what you're looking for. Super cute bow. Love the combination. Again, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.